Hello, Titans. Welcome to our asynchronous staff meeting for November 2020. There are 6 different components to our meeting this month, and they are 1, a student feedback survey about their virtual learning experience. 2, you will hear the status of our incompletes. Those are the marking period for incompletes that we are trying to resolve through Canvas. Then you will receive guidance and expectations on Friday advisory, and then review a lesson plan template and checklist. These are optional things for you to explore and to adapt as you see fit, using virtual learning as a guiding focus. Then we will revisit our Equal Opportunity Schools purpose, our EOS purpose and recruiting for this year. And finally, you will hear master schedule updates. So please review all these 6 components and you will be able to revisit this video as needed. Hi, everyone. We are planning to distribute a student voice survey to gather feedback from our students about how virtual learning has been so far from their perspective, and use their feedback to tailor our strategies, our resources, and our learning to make their virtual experience better for them. We would like you to provide this survey via a Google form during advisory periods on November 10th, 13th, and 17th. After that, we will be closing down the survey to look at trends and to provide that information back to you and look at it as a whole staff. The survey is available in English and in Spanish. It's just the one form that is in both languages, so there is no separate form for English or Spanish. And we're asking the students some questions, like I said, about their virtual learning experience. So about the community that they're able to build in virtual school, about their attendance, how often they're attending, what their motivation is, about the Zoom aspect of attendance, their participation, what activities they like, how they interact in their classes, virtual learning in general, how much time they're spending on homework, what classes are they working or doing a lot of work in, social emotional questions about having a trusted adult, managing stress, and then just some demographic information. The only question that is required is their grade level, so that we can see their responses and how they may be trending differently based on the grade of the student. So again, if you could please make this available to your students on these 3 dates. And please remember that with Google Forms, if the student starts the survey, they have to go through all of it and complete it. If they close out of the form, they won't be able to come back to their progress. So with the survey being the length that it is, I would expect maybe 25 minutes for the students to thoroughly complete it and not just run right through it. So please take that in consideration with your upcoming SEL lessons and your Friday advisories. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.
Hi everyone, this is a quick update on incompletes. Thank you so much to everyone who's sent assignments in so far. We're still waiting for more work, so please get that to us as soon as possible. All incompletes need to be done by the end of the first semester, so we've got to get students working, and we can't do that until we get the work. We are contacting students, we're getting them started. It's been great so far, so students are really appreciative of the opportunity to change their incomplete to a pass. Just to let you know the process, when we receive their work, we will send it to the teacher of record to grade, unless it's in Canvas where you'll receive an automatic update that it's in there, or were otherwise directed to send it to someone else for grading, you just need to communicate with us. Otherwise, the assumption will be to send the work to the teacher of record of the student in the class that they received the incomplete in. When a student has completed all of their work, and if they earn the pass, a grade modification form will need to be filled out by the teacher of record. So you'll fill that form out and send it to Miss Adams. Please send additionally the work that they did or the grades that they received in Canvas, so there is proof of completion with that grade modification form. There has been some confusion about filling out the grade modification form, so I just wanted to take this opportunity to quickly go over that. You will have to fill out section 1, 2, and 3. So you'll need to fill out the student name, their ID number, grade, and the course name and course number. That information can be found in the Excel document or the Google sheet that has the list of all students and the incompletes. If you're unsure about this, please ask your RT because they have access to that. You will need to fill out the school year, which would be 2019, 2020. So it was last school year. You also will need to put in an I to a P. You are changing it for marking period 4. You do not need to change this final part right here. You don't need to change anything for marking period 3. This is the only part you need to change. You also need to fill out the reason for requesting the modification. You're going to attach that documentation, which is the grading, either the grades from Canvas or the work that they've completed with your grades, and the reason for requesting the modification. They completed the work to change the incomplete to a pass. They've met criteria 1 and 3 from marking period 4 of the year, whatever it is, but you please fill out this reason for requesting the modification. And then finally, you need to check yes. Print your name, sign, and date. If you cannot electronically sign, please send this attached form filled out, and then in the email that you send it, just say, I am not able to electronically sign, but this email is documentation of my signature sending this form. Please, please, if you have any questions about incompletes, just ask, email me. I'm happy to Zoom with you. We can talk about the work that you need to submit, how to fill out this form, whatever you need. I'm here to help. You just need to ask. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Brown coming to share with you some guidance and expectations related to our Friday advisory period. So this fall, we reduced the 2 days of advisory SEL lessons down to just 1 day, which is what we do on Tuesdays. This was done in part so students can engage or interact with their classmates and to allow staff to engage with students through school-wide activities of their choosing and of our choosing, rather than having 2 days of SEL lessons that were given by the county. So attendance is required for advisory. We have to make sure we mark our students present and record their attendance if they attend advisory. This should be done within the first 5 or 10 minutes, ideally, of the advisory period. However, attendance can be recorded at any time during that 1 hour block. So if a student attends 15, 20, 30 minutes into the period, we still mark their attendance as present. After checking in with their advisory teacher, then students should engage in another school-wide activity or sponsor activity with another Albert Einstein High School adult or staff member. Here on this slide, I have a list of activities that students can engage in during the Friday advisory period. This is not an exhaustive list by any means, And we can add to this. We cannot do some of the things that are on here. And we can have teachers or staff volunteer to do any number of things that might be beneficial to students and or that they might be interested in. So I'll read the list. We have ECA sponsored clubs and activities, academic support, enrichment by way of college essay writing, common apps, college visits, class reviews or reteaching opportunities, open counseling hours, SSL opportunities, ESOL support, SGA sponsored events such as the homecoming and virtual pep rally that was put on last week, tutoring opportunities, opportunities for students to engage in mindfulness activities, student focus groups such as town hall meetings. This is something that administrators are looking forward to doing with our staff and students as well. Teacher check-ins as well as help sessions, credit recovery opportunities, and admins for students who are looking to regain credit in courses they failed previously. Bridge projects for those seniors who need to complete an NSL bridge project. We still need to reconcile the incompletes from the second semester of last school year. So engaging in activities related to incompletes is an option as well. Students can also engage in athletic meetings with their coaches or with their teammates. Also, we can provide tech help and support to students, book club opportunities, as well as video game club opportunities, which I'm sure a lot of our students are looking forward to engaging in anyway. Related to expectations, I'll just read this really quickly. It is expected that students engage in advisory during both B-Day sessions, not just on Tuesdays, but Fridays as well. Our hope is that for Fridays anyway, that by providing students with choices, they will become more engaged with advisory, with school, and with their classmates. As such, each staff member assigned to an advisory should be available to students on both B-Day class periods. It is still a best practice for students to inform staff in advance if they plan to attend your advisory period on Friday. However, this is not a requirement, but it is a best practice so we know to expect students. So that's what I have for advisory on Fridays. Really looking for a way to continue to engage our students and to also have staff do some more enjoyable things that they might want to engage in with our students in ways that we have in the past. So that's what we have here. And please let me know if you have any questions.
I am sharing with you a tool or a resource that was created as a follow-up to some of the feedback that we've received from staff in regard to just wanting more support with instruction in this virtual setting, but also something that we thought would be helpful and useful to staff after we reviewed data from our informal observations that members of the instructional leadership team engaged in a couple weeks ago. Please feel free to use this tool as you wish. You can use parts of it, segments, or you can use the entire thing if you would like when you are planning by yourself, or even to guide the discussion when you are planning for mastery with your PLCs. At the top here, we just have a quick checklist. If you're like me, sometimes I just need gentle reminders of what I should be focusing on when I'm creating lessons for students. And what you'll see here are just practices that we've deemed as best practices for mastery level instruction. First being framing the learning. Did you ensure that you created modifications for students with accommodations? This includes our ESOL population as well as our special education students. Did you incorporate equitable calling practices? And if so, which methods are you focusing on in this lesson, or which method? Checks for understanding. We know that in instruction, especially in the virtual setting, you have to incorporate multiple points throughout the lesson where you are checking to see if students are with you and if they grasp the concepts that you are delivering. varied opportunities for discourse, in the informal observations. We realized that we did observe lots of teacher to student or student to teacher discourse, but we really also want to make sure that we are considering student to student discourse. There will be more exemplars and examples coming out to help support you in this area. Opportunities for feedback. So prior to the assessment piece, did you provide students with feedback for what you were looking for? Did they grasp the concept? Are there areas in which they need to tailor a bit in order to meet mastery? We speak a lot about differentiation, so we wanted to provide some areas that you can consider. Are you differentiating the content or the process that you are using or that you want students to use? The products that students are producing, the assessments, are they different? Are they tailored to meet individual students and their needs? Or are you differentiating in terms of your grouping? So again, this is just a quick little checklist that you can pull out at any point and use when you are planning for mastery. Now, as we start looking at the template, we have made sure that you can type in it, you can modify it if you see fit. But what is the mastery objective of this lesson? Students will be able to do what? And how will they show you that they can do whatever it is that that you want them to be able to demonstrate? Okay, so the action, and then how is it shown? Your activator or your warm-up, whichever term you use, is it to introduce the new topic, or will you be reviewing prior content? You can include your activity here. Community builder, we know in this virtual setting, building community is something that we, keep to the forefront of our minds to make sure that students feel as if they are learning in environments that are conducive to learning, but that also they are comfortable and feel as if they can take risk in your shared space. Lesson progression consideration. So when you're getting into, the meat of your instruction, what is the method that you'll use to present the new content? Lecture-based, demonstration, and what are the main points that you want students to focus on? Academic language, the terms, what do you want to hear from students? And what are the terms that you want them to focus on that you are using? Your guided practice, so when and how will you incorporate this into your lesson? What is the focus? After the guided practice, we know that we always want students to be able to exemplify mastery. So how and when will they engage into practice? And will they be focusing on the same things that you focused on in your guided instruction? Lastly, assessment of the skill or content. How, again, will you assess that they grasp the concept or the skill? Questions for considerations. For you, what questions will I need to ask the students? What opportunities will I give students to talk to me, to each other? Again, remember, you can omit some of this stuff if you need to. But this segment right here is very important. The defined criteria for success for student evaluation or assessment. So have you explicitly stated or shown students what it is they will be assessed on and all the points or, skills, everything that you want them to cover in that assessment? Have you explicitly stated or shared that with your students? What does it sound like? What does it look like? Again, just a quick little checkbox here for differentiation. And lastly, to close out any lesson, what will your summarizer look like? Or how will you wrap it up? Always make sure you revisit the objective, make connections in the learning from either prior content or what you'll be moving on to and how it applies to students in real life. And review the takeaway points for students. Here we just included a little section for notes, should you have any that you would like to include. Again, no pressure with using this tool. We just really wanted to provide a resource for you to be able to use in your intentional planning sessions when you are planning lessons at the mastery level. Thank you. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me or give me a call at the school. And you can also reach out to other members on our instructional leadership team because they are familiar with this tool that we are sharing. Thank you. Hello, Titans. This is Miss Sneed. I hope that you all are well. I will be sharing some information regarding Equal Opportunity Schools, or EOS, for those of you who were already members of the Titan family last year or the year before. Hopefully this will just serve as a refresher for you. And for those staff members that are new to our Titan family, this short presentation can be a quick overview for you to gain some understanding about the work of EOS. Back in 2016, MCPS partnered with Equal Opportunity Schools, or EOS, to close race and income enrollment gaps in AP and IB programs, while also maintaining or increasing the success of these programs. So at Einstein, as an EOS partner school, we will continue working to ensure that our students of color and our low-income students have equitable access to our most academically intense programs, but also that we are putting supports in place for our students to be able to succeed at the highest levels in these programs. Where are we in the process at Einstein? So this is year 3 for us as an EOS school. And our focus this year is continuing the work. Last year was a little cut short due to COVID. So we didn't really get to finish all of the great ideas and initiatives that we had in place to lay out. So we'll continue in that work. Year 1, we focused on building a foundation. So we analyzed data points. We created and implemented strategies to improve instruction in higher level courses and in our own level courses, with that ultimate goal of increasing enrollment in the higher level courses being AP and IB. Year 2, which was last year, we really keened in to address key issues of equitable success and the sense of belonging. So since we encouraged students and motivated them to take a higher level course, how are we being sure that they can be successful, and how were we ensuring that they felt as if they belonged in those courses? Year 3, that's where we are now. And we are really going to try to sustain success, but also reach for continuous improvement. We know in terms of equity, there's always room for growth, always room for improvement. And so that's what we will be focusing on this year, especially as we are heading right into scheduling season as a school. So it's really important to look at some of the things that we have in place. With all of that being said, here is a shameless plug for you. If you are an equity warrior, we want you on this team. We are recruiting staff members from each department to serve as active members on our EOS team. We're certainly excited about the continued pursuit of dismantling persistent barriers to access and opportunities for students of color and low-income students. And if you are wondering, as a member of this team, what will I do? What purpose will I serve? Well, we'll be examining our policies at Einstein. We'll be looking at our practices at Einstein, and also thinking about our beliefs as a school community and how all of those pieces really impact the experiences of our students, and specifically our minority and low income students. Again, if you are motivated, excited about this work, and equity is really at the, one of your core passions, then please, please, please let me know that you're interested in being a part of our EOS team. And I will also be sending out a staff email in hopes of recruiting new members for our team this year. As I said before, this is a county partnership. So as an EOS school, we are members of cohort 3. So the schools that I have listed here are usually the ones that we engage in training with, countywide training. So this year, there are 4 dates for our countywide training, the first being November 30th, the second, January 5th, third, February 9th, and then the last session is scheduled for March the 9th. These sessions will be held virtually from 3 to 5 p.m. So just to put that on your radar if you're thinking about joining the EOS team. School-wide, just please stay tuned for what's coming soon. In terms of EOS, every school has to have a fall student and staff survey, which is designed to examine our school culture for equity. Once we get some reports and can gather some data from that, that will really help us with our programming for the remainder of this year and leading into years to come. So thank you so much. If you have questions about EOS or equity work, always feel free to reach out to me. And we just wanted to put this either on your radar or back on your radar. Einstein is an equal opportunity school, and we are trying to increase enrollment in our higher level courses, but also focusing on what's going on in our on-level courses so that if students by chance were to take some higher level courses, they would be prepared. We will also make sure that we engage into some professional development for staff so that, it's just not students that we're supporting here, but that you feel supported as well. That is all I have right now for EOS, and there will be more to come very soon. Thank you for listening. Take care.
Hello, everyone. I hope you had a good weekend. Believe it or not, it is scheduling season, and I am here to share some information regarding the master's scheduling process. Let's first take a look at the master's scheduling team. And as you can see, the team is made up of all administrators and our resource teachers and resource counselor. And Fletcher's our resource counselor, Dr. Howard, our APIB coordinator, Ms. McEwen, Academy coordinator, Ms. Roberts Ritzy, Mr. Alford, Math RT, Mr. Bonavia, PE Health RT, Mrs. Buckley, English RT, Ms. Economides, Social Studies RT, Ms. Gooley, Fine Arts RT, Ms. Mackey, Business RT, Ms. Perot, World Language RT, Ms. Walker, Science RT, and Ms. Yip, our ESOL RT. The team met a couple of times to begin the conversation around scheduling, and we began to consider the following: scheduling philosophy. What are our guiding principles? Scheduling agreements, our approaches to creating a master schedule, scheduling priorities, items that drive our choices and decisions, scheduling considerations, items to be mindful of, to take into account, scheduling constraints, items that may limit or hinder the master schedule. We are in the early stages of defining these for Albert Einstein High School, and we'll share with staff once they're finalized. So during this process, how does one advocate for their department's needs? And I have a slide with 3 different ways that RTs advocates for departments. First, last month, and we continue during the course of this month, there's discussion around course offerings for next school year. So RTs have probably met with their departments to talk about course offerings for next school year. And most RTs have already met with their supervising APs to share this information. In March, jumping over to March, when we receive our staffing allocation, RTs, APs, and the master scheduling team will discuss sections and staffing for next school year. That means looking at the number of sections to offer based on registration and the number of staff members needed to teach those sections. This process is another way that RTs can advocate for their department's needs. And RTs meet with supervising APs biweekly. And since we are in scheduling season, scheduling becomes a hot topic. So it's on the agenda when RTs and APs are meeting during this process. So what are the next steps? Well, once again, the master scheduling team will finalize scheduling philosophy, agreements, priorities, and considerations. Teachers are encouraged to share scheduling items or concerns directly with their RTs. And then the RTs will bring those concerns to the APs and or the master scheduling team. RTs continue to advocate for the departments, again, at the biweekly meetings and at the master scheduling team meetings. And it's also time to begin to plan for course option fair and registration. There's a lot of work that needs to take place and that will take place during this process. Again, we're at the early stages of it all. My goal is to keep you updated with our progress. If you have any questions about scheduling and the process, you can email me directly. If you have questions or concerns about your department's needs, please reach out directly to your RTs. And that is all that I have for you today. Have a wonderful week and be safe.
That concludes the session for our asynchronous staff meeting. Thank you for your time and attention. And if you have any questions about the content of our meeting for this month, please contact your RT or your AP. Have a good one, Titans.